Alrighty, hello everybody, and happy Saturday. So it's Saturday around here, and you might have noticed that I have somebody joining me, and so I've talked with a lot of people who have been watching these lives, and they really like them. And I am going to see if I can tag my mom and
Go back to do something.
my mom wanted me to tag her and see if she could join us. So it's gonna let me tag Paulette. No, I think it looks like it only lets me tag. I know she likes my page, but no, only lets me tag other businesses. Well, that stinks. Okay. Okay. And oops, here we go. Doing another invite for somebody. There we go. All right, we are getting ourselves organized. It's Saturday around here, and there we go. All right, posting. So letting people know about the lives. So if you have, I've talked to a ton of you and you found the lives super helpful, and if you want to just tell other people about them, that's really amazing, because the more we can ripple life coaching through our communities, the more we're going to be able to come through coronavirus stronger. And the reason I wanted to bring Ben on today, so this is my 10-year-old Ben.
Hi, everybody.
There we go. Remember, the camera's up there. So this is my 10-year-old Ben. And I want to tell you, Ben, he has a superpower.
Feeling my feelings.
That's right. Ben's superpower is feeling his feelings. And so for all y'all who sit there and tell me that you can't feel your feelings, I promise you, if my 10-year-old can learn how to do it and find it as his superpower, so can you. And so here's how Ben came on the live today. Was it last night we were talking?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, we were talking. So we all cuddle in bed at night and read and generally spend time together as a family. And Zach came in and was, I think, probably talking about their D&D campaign, right?
Yes, he was.
That's going to happen again on Monday. And Ben said, stop it, that's future thinking. And it's not doing you any good. And I was like, whoa, tell me more about future thinking, Ben. And so he came out with this great explanation. And I was like, you have to come onto coaching tomorrow and talk to all of our people about future thinking. Because most of our people have kids. Most of our people were kids. And I just wanted to take the Saturday to do this. So that you guys could all know that you can have these conversations with your kids. So Ben, and so this is how I'm giving you a demonstration of how it's going to go, because Ben and I are going to coach live today in front of you, which takes a lot of bravery from this little guy and a lot of bravery from me, I'm letting the whole world know how I parent. But it's totally awesome. Okay, so Ben, tell me how you define future thinking.
Future thinking.
Slow down.
Sorry. Future thinking keeps us from thinking in the present moment.
Right? And so it means thinking about what's going to happen and putting your brain there instead of thinking of what's happening now, right?
Yup.
Right? Okay. And so when we're thinking about what's going to happen, what are we not doing?
We are not staying in the present and feeling our feelings in the present and allowing ourselves to be in the present.
There you go. And can we ever do anything about the future in the present moment? No. And what is it when we think about the future a lot? What I want to do is I want to teach you, I'm going to use this. Ben and I decided we were going to use this to teach you guys how to do what we call the model, okay? So the model comes from my coach, Brooke Castillo, And she's brilliant and amazing. She runs the life coach school, and I'm a certified coach in the life coach school. And this one also wants to be a certified coach in the life coach school, which is probably going to be a present for his 16th birthday. And so what Ben and I are going to teach you is what a model means. Now, over the course of the week, believe it or not, I have actually taught you the model. All right, I use some different questions for it because the way I do it allows people a little easier access, I think, and you don't have to be super excellent at life coaching to ask your brain the like water and strive questions that I've taught you. There's another set of questions called light that we're going to dive into next week, okay? But when we're looking at this, doing a model looks like looking at our circumstances. And remember what I've taught you. Circumstances are always
neutral.
That's right. So circumstances are facts, okay? Ben is wearing an orange shirt.
That's neutral.
Right? Orange looks awesome on Ben is a
fact.
That's a thought.
Sorry.
It's a thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
Orange doesn't look awesome on me is a
thought.
Right? So orange shirt is circumstance, and we look at that as a C. We call that the C in the model, and then we always have thoughts about our circumstances, right? They can't see that. We're going to draw that out.
Sorry.
All right, and so we have your circumstances always trigger thoughts, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so then your thoughts, that's the T line in the model, always trigger feelings. And what was so interesting for me when Ben was talking about future thinking, when you are future thinking, you're not creating feelings in the future, are you?
Well, you're really not, because you're thinking about the future, but you're not allowing yourself to be in the present to create the model that allows you to get what you want in the future.
From the mouths of babes, my friends. Because why is that? Your thoughts always create your
feelings.
Right. And then when you have feelings, what do you do when you have feelings?
You make an action.
Right. And what do your actions lead to in your life?
Results.
Right. And so your thoughts really do create your results, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's how we do things around here, okay? Your thoughts always create your results. So what I want to do is I am going to walk through this on what we call a model, with what happened, like that Ben made, and then we're going to talk about it, okay? Does that sound good? Okay, so
I have this whole paper.
There you go. So stand up and turn around, face me. There you go. Okay, so we start our model with C. All right. Circumstance. So, Ben, tell our camera what circumstance we're talking about. So hang on. A circumstance is a very narrow set of something, okay? Yes. So life, while yes is a circumstance, is fairly broad. So, what circumstance are we talking about?
We're talking about reading and letting our minds wander.
Okay, so you were reading last night, right?
Keep in mind this is just an example.
Right, so this is an example. So you were reading, okay, and your mind wandered.
Yes.
Or mind came off of reading. I guess wandering is probably a thought. So came off reading. Okay, great. All right, and so you were reading, and your mind came off of reading. And what was the thought that you created?
I'm going to do X, Y, or Z.
Right. I am going. So we already know it's in the future, right? So Mr. here is starting Latin while he's homeschooling.
Quis est nomen?
Going to do X, Y, or Z. Okay, so now what I want to point out to you, all right, I am going to do X, Y, or Z. That's a thought. Okay, it's totally a thought because you're not actually doing X, Y, or Z. You're thinking. You're literally thinking, I'm going to do X, Y, or Z, right?
Yeah.
So when you, Benjamin, think, I'm going to do, like you were thinking about making chocolate chip cookies, right?
Mm-hmm. That's future thinking.
That's future thinking. All right, so last night's, in our case, this was chocolate chip cookies. All right, when you start thinking about chocolate chip cookies, when it's not time for us to be organizing around chocolate chip cookies, how does that thought make you feel?
It makes me feel stressed out.
Right. Okay, so you get stressed out. That's right. Okay, so now, Ben, tell everybody over here, when you get stressed out, what do? Like, what are your actions?
My actions when I get stressed out is I pretty much go from 1, 5, 11. So I go 1, I'm cool, I'm good. 5, I'm getting escalated and snarky, and nothing really good comes from that. And then 11, I'm mad and I'm threatening to hurt myself. It's
really tough when you're in
Yeah.
11, isn't it? Right?
I had to go to the hospital a few times because of it.
Right? That was super scary. But you know what helped us get through that?
The model?
That's right. The model helped us get through that. So you escalate and you snark, right?
Yes.
I would also say you fight with siblings.
Yes.
You fight with siblings, right? You fight with your siblings. And then when you're doing all of these actions, Ben, what result does that create?
It creates not reading or doing X, Y, or Z.
Neither reading, which we love to do, right? Okay, or making chocolate chip cookies. Because when you're in escalation and snark and fighting with your siblings, what do mommy and daddy do?
You say, you're not in the mindset to make cookies. It's almost like
It's almost. Right? So, or make
chocolate chip cookies.
Chocolate chip cookies. So, Ben, what caused this result?
It was caused from future thinking.
It was caused from this future thinking. Your thought created this result where you're neither reading or making chocolate chip cookies.
Correct.
You were going into what we call rock brain. Okay.
Basically, you're acting so stubborn that you could try to break your head on the wall and it wouldn't work.
Right, exactly. So when you're sitting there, then what happens is you just spin right there.
And
right?
it actually goes pretty fast.
It actually goes pretty fast, right?
It's also annoying.
Right? And you don't feel good when that happens.
Nope, because I'm generally, after like the third or fourth spin, go to 11.
Right, and then you start frightening yourself.
Yeah.
Right? And so what's really interesting about our kids is their emotions and their emotional intensity can be very frightening to them. But that's not less true. That is not less true of us. Okay? And we use our models not to make ourselves better. Right?
You use your models to make yourself know yourself.
That's right. All it is bringing awareness. And if you guys remember at the beginning of the week, last week, Ben went through and wrote down all of his feelings, right?
Mm-hmm. That was me.
Right? I wrote them over there. I feel like I've been referencing them all week. And he wrote down all of these negative feelings because we had just heard that we weren't going to go back to school for 2 weeks, and now we're not going to go back to school for like more than another month. And he went through and he felt all of his feelings and he wrote them all down. And the last one he wrote down was awareness, right? And we use the model to create awareness. We don't use the model to beat ourselves up, though I am pretty fond of doing that, right? We use the model to just show ourselves our thoughts and decide what thoughts are working for us. So, Ben, do you think future thinking works for you?
No, and no.
No, you don't think future thinking works for you. So what are some ways that maybe we've taught you or that you've developed to keep yourself out of future thinking and keep yourself in the present?
Well, one of the things that helps me, and this I'm just going to point out, is this is buffering. Running, that helps me.
Okay, running helps you, right?
Drawing.
Right. There's another big thing that we do when you really start to escalate that helps, I think, more than anything else.
I don't remember. Oh, tapping.
we do tapping, right? We do a lot of tapping around here, and he does headstands. Okay, when you do inversions, yeah, so that's Ben tapping. Okay, when you do inversions, there's lots of like you can you can look up all the science around inversions, but when Ben goes up on his head, it really concentrates all of his mental faculties being upside down because that just, I mean, it literally puts your brain in a different space and makes it concentrate on something else. And so that's a tool that we have found to be incredibly useful.
Yeah,
right?
it works with me like nothing else, pretty much, except for
Right.
tapping. Tapping always works.
Tapping always works. So let's talk a little bit about tapping because, this week we have talked a lot about feeling our feelings and what color your feelings are. And so, Ben, let's do a what color are your feelings exercise like we normally do. So what feeling are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling nervous about the Facebook Live.
Okay, you're feeling nervous about the Facebook Live. So if you had to drop into your body and tell mommy what that nervous, like where it was in your body, where would you tell mommy it was?
I'd say it's just below this, like right here.
Like right, like below your sternum and above your belly button?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So it's below your sternum and it's above your belly button. Okay. And if it was a color, what color would it be?
It'd be a swirl of black and pink.
Black and pink?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. And is it hard or soft?
It's kind of soft.
It's kind of soft? Okay.
Yeah.
Is it opaque or see-through?
Opaque.
Does it have cloudy edges or like hard edges?
Sharp.
Hard, sharp edges?
Yes.
Yeah? Any other descriptors that you have for it?
Yes, it's a little rough and it moves sort of throughout my body. It moves throughout my body. It's rough and it sort of clouds up all my other emotions.
Nervousness clouds up all your other emotions. Yeah. That can sure happen. And so once you feel that feeling and you identify it in your body, what's the next thing you want to do?
What's the next thing I want to do?
Right, we wrote it over there.
I want to write out my feelings or
give yourself permission to feel
I want to give myself permission to feel all of those feelings, no matter how uncomfortable or like unpleasant those feelings are.
Right, because you're feeling nervous right now, right?
Yes.
Is that the only thing you're feeling right now?
No.
What else are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling kind of excited.
Right.
I am feeling a little worried.
Okay.
And I'm feeling aware.
Right. Because we're teaching people some really important stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And that's really amazing. Imagine if we could have all the 10-year-olds out there feel all their own feelings.
Yeah.
That would make 5th grade a lot more palatable.
Tolerable.
It would make 5th grade a lot more tolerable, right?
Especially for 5th grade.
And so, right? And so we go through that exercise and we feel all of our feelings. And then we decide when you've gotten yourself enough space whether or not you want to feel that way. So Ben, do you want to feel nervous and excited and worried in front of a camera on a Facebook Live for the first time?
Yes.
There you go, people. And that is what it looks like to choose your feelings. And I don't want to be glib about it, but it really is that simple. It's that simple to work with yourself and like, hey, dudes, talk to your inner 10-year-old because they're all in there. And they're really smart. And your inner 10-year-old is pretty aware of their feelings. Whether when you were actually 10 you were allowed to feel them or not.
Yeah, I found that, like, when I was 9, my feelings weren't as sharp as as now. It could just be because of my mom's life coaching. But I have a feeling that, like, from now on, they'll be more sharp.
And you're more able to recognize them.
Yeah.
Well, you do have a superpower, right?
Yes.
But you know what I think? I think this is a superpower we can teach other people.
Yes.
Yeah, those are the best kinds of superpowers. If anybody wants to teach me how to fly, I'm totally open.
No, you already know how to fly.
I already know. I know. I get into an airplane and I fly away.
Yeah.
So that's how we do it around here. That's how we talk about our feelings. All right. That's how we work through some of our feelings and some of the techniques that we use with kids. And I know we're all going to be home with our kids for a really long time. And these, I would say, Ben, and tell me if you agree. Do you think we as parents and you guys as kids have gotten better at doing this?
I do in like talking about feelings?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I very much do.
Okay. So I would say it's a learned and learnable skill, right? I think it's all, I think all these skills are learned and learnable, right?
Like playing Dungeons and Dragons, playing Magic the Gathering, learning how to use life coaching,
It's all,
walking,
right?
talking, algebra, multiplication, addition, subtraction, division, fractions.
Right?
The list can go on and on.
Of all the things that we learn how to do. Okay, so I want to take that, all right, and before we end, I want to do another model with you, Ben, okay? And the action is going to be learning, okay? Because I want people to see how a model works. Now, this is not a model we rehearsed or talked about, so I want you guys to see what this looks like in real time.
Pay close attention.
Pay close attention.
Not
Okay.
play close attention.
So here's the deal. All right, we are doing life coaching now. Okay. Another circumstance could have been coronavirus, is what he just said, because circumstances are
neutral.
Circumstances are always neutral. So you can put whatever thing in here, totally neutral. I promise you, coronavirus is neutral.
I can name about 100 other neutral things.
I know.
Like that guitar over there, that light right there, that stand over there, that trombone over there, Mom's filing cabinet, Mom going away, cardboard boxes.
Let me tell you, he has very different feelings about my filing cabinet than I do. Very different thoughts.
It's funny.
So, Ben, I want you to, we're going to do this from, which line do we want to start with? Is there a result that you want to create? Do you want to talk about actions, feelings, or thoughts?
First, let me say, it's not advisable to start from the A line.
We never start from the A line. That's right, Ben. Why is that?
Because you don't know your thought.
Right. And when you start from the A line, working from the A line, what we call it, when you're working from the A line, you don't actually know what you're thinking.
Yeah, it's basically future thinking.
It is, in fact, future thinking. Okay, so do you want to start with the R line, the F line, or the T line?
T.
You want to start with the T. Okay,
Yeah.
So what thought do you want to think about life coaching?
I kind of want to think, this is nervous, but it's also exciting because it's my first time, stepping up on, a computer with people that are watching me that I don't know and see.
Okay.
It's exciting.
Okay, so what you want to think is, this
is exciting.
And when you think the thought, this is exciting, how does that thought feel?
How does that thought feel? It's it makes me a little nervous, but a little also aware and excited.
Okay, so I would say that this thought makes you feel excited because you put a feeling, you can think a feeling into existence, guys, and that's exactly what this is. Okay, so this makes you feel excited. When you're excited, what do?
I rub my hands together.
I don't know if you guys can see that.
But I was actually actively rubbing my
hands. Okay. Right?
Because for me, excited is actually a negative emotion.
Huh, it's a negative emotion. So you talk fast.
I talk very fast.
Right?
As you probably saw my mom pointing out.
Right, so you talk fast, you rub hands together and you talk fast. What else do you do?
I start running around and making no sense at all in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, so you talk fast, you may even go to babbling, right?
In fact.
All right, so when you're rubbing your hands together, you're talking fast and you're babbling, what result, do you see the result that happens from that?
No, not really.
We don't have effective life coaching, right? So no effective life coaching. All right. So now, time to tap, right? And what Ben did is recognize and say excited is a negative emotion for him. And this work is so powerful because you get to find out for yourself what are your positive and negative emotions.
I could give you an example from my mom.
Sure.
Determination for my mom is a negative emotion.
That's right.
You might have already said that. I don't know.
I don't know if I've said that this week, but that is the example that I use all the time. So I have done a lot of things from determination. A lot of things. I got a whole entire doctorate from determination. And for those of you who are out there who've gotten graduate degrees, I think probably a lot of you can sympathize with that. But determined is a very negative emotional space for me. Excited for a lot of people actually is a negative emotion a lot of the time. Maybe not all of the time, but it masks like a lot of nervousness and a lot of scarcity. You know, scarcity for being present on live. And I have found that with myself in public speaking when I'm especially nervous about public speaking. And so what I have found to do, and one of the gifts that the model gives us, is the awareness that, wait, I'm going through this, and this is exactly what just happened to Ben. I'm going through this, and wait, my emotion is negative. And this emotion is negative leads to actually a fairly negative result of no effective life coaching.
And it just keeps, as I said for the first one, it just keeps going on and on and on and on.
Right. And so we have to think about what a pattern interrupt would be. But we'll cover that tomorrow. So we'll do pattern interrupts and pausing in our models and things like that tomorrow, because as we go through and as we keep getting more news about coronavirus, more news about our kids staying home from school, more news about all the things that is coming, it's really important to be able to pause our models and think, how do I want to be right now and who do I want to be right now? Alrighty, so that's what we've got for you today. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back here at noon tomorrow. I don't know if Ben's joining me, but probably not. So, and we're just going to talk pausing our models. All right, so thank you so much, everybody. You have a beautiful day, and we will see you here, same bad time, same bad channel. Bye, guys.